In need of a few good men, there are dozens of boys in our area without a father figure, now on a waiting list for a male role model. Any man will tell you how important it is for a boy to have a male role model.
My father passed away when I was 6, so I got an understanding of not having a father figure in your life.
That's why Tony Hendricks of Roanoke, despite having raised 3 successful adult children, decided to give back and become a big brother.
Growing up, it's something that I look back knowing that I didn't really have, and it makes me feel good to know that I can give that memory to him.
Proven to make a difference, kids in the organization have reduced truancy, improved test scores, and have all been kept out of the criminal justice system. For the organization, the need for big brothers like Tony is now greater than ever.
How hard is it to find big brothers?
It's one of our biggest challenges.
Program Director Beth Reedy says 75% of the kids on waiting lists for bigs are boys, 6 of which are in urgent need. That's why we met to talk.
The 6 boys that I have right now are being raised, the majority of them are being raised by their grandparents. A lot of them have incarcerated parents.
Beth says one boy's dad is missing and his mom is in and out of the Roanoke Rescue Mission.
For him to have the opportunity to have somebody to hang out with, somebody to talk, somebody to help encourage him in a positive way, it just would make the biggest difference.
And it only takes several hours a month to become a big brother. The organization is having an open house today and tomorrow at the Oliver Hill House from 8 to 5.